Animals in Flight by Steve Jenkins. Imagine being able to fly, soaring, swooping, diving, or hovering. So many animals are able to do what we can only dream about. How do they do it? When and why did they take to the air? The barn swallow, a fast and graceful flyer, spends up to 18 hours a day in the air. Insects were the first flying animals. The ancient dragonfly lived almost 350 million years ago, larger than any insect alive today. It had wings measuring 2.5 feet across. How did insects begin to fly? No one knows for sure. Some insects may have had flaps on their bodies that they used to warm themselves in the sun. Or they may have started their lives in the water and had fins for swimming. When these insects jumped to avoid danger, some were able to glide to safety with the help of these fins or flaps. After a few million years, most insects had developed real wings and had spread to all parts of the earth. One of these insects, the ancient cockroach, was 1.5 feet long. Then, about 250 million years ago, small dinosaurs began to fly. The first flying reptiles were small animals that were related to dinosaurs and lived in trees. Eventually, some of them became quite large. The Pteranodon, which lived 175 million years ago, had a 17-foot wingspan. Archaeopteryx, not sure I'm pronouncing that right, which lived 150 million years ago, was the first true bird. It had feathered wings and scaly skin, like a reptile's. The largest of the flying reptiles was Quetzalcoatlus. Its wings were 40 feet across. The modern-day bald eagle has a wingspan of about 7 feet. Flying helps animals escape danger, find and catch food, and move from place to place. A robin uses flight to escape danger. It may also fly to catch insects, to reach seeds or fruit that other animals can't get to, or to find a safe spot to build a nest for its young. The barn owl's wings are covered with soft feathers that make no sound as the owl swoops down silently on an unsuspecting mouse. All flying animals, past or present, have wings. The wing of a scarlet macaw. Different animals have different kinds of wings, but they all work by creating lift. Reptile wing, insect wing, bird wing, bat wing. Lift is the force that gets an animal up into the air. All wings, animal or man-made, create lift in the same way. The shape of a wing causes the air moving above it to travel faster than the air passing below it. As air moves faster, its pressure is reduced. This results in higher air pressure beneath the wing that pushes upward, lifting the wing and the flyer into the air. Animals use their wings in different ways. Some can hover. The hummingbird is the only bird that can hover or fly in place. Hummingbirds can also fly up, down, sideways, and backwards. The hummingbird's wings can act as helicopter blades, pushing air down or sideways. This is how the hummingbird can fly in any direction. Most insects can fly like a hummingbird. When a housefly wants to land on the ceiling, it hovers right side up, lifts its front legs in until its feet touch the surface, then swings its body around so it's upside down. Others can dive, soar, or turn loops in the air. The Peregrine Falcon, the fastest bird of all, can reach speeds of 175 miles per hour in a dive. Ducks often travel in a V formation. Except for the leader, each duck is partially pulled along by the air currents created by the bird it flies behind. It takes more work to fly at the front of the V, so the ducks take turns leading. Soaring birds, like the vulture, ride updrafts or rising currents of warm air called thermals. These birds may be able to stay aloft for hours without ever flapping their wings, which are large for their bodies. Bats have very flexible wings that allow them to change direction quickly. Most bats feed on flying insects, so they have to be acrobatic flyers. They can fly upside down, spin, or turn loops in the air. Birds use more than just their wings to fly. In fact, their whole bodies are made for flight. This hawk prepares for a landing. Feathers, light and strong, create a large wing surface to push against the air. They also keep the bird warm to conserve energy. Hollow bones keep the bird's bodies light. Strong muscles power wings. A streamlined body moves easily through the air. Some birds are unable to fly because they are too heavy or their wings are too small. These birds are able to get around in other ways. The ostrich, which can weigh as much as 300 pounds, can run as fast as a horse. The penguin is a graceful swimmer and spends most of its time in the water. Insects are the most common flyers. It's believed that there are more than 1 million different kinds of flying insects. The honeybee, like most insects, has 2 pairs of wings. When a wasp begins to fly, its wings move down and forward like a bird's to create lift. As the wasp raises them for the next stroke, however, they twist upside down. This provides lift on both the upstroke and the downstroke. When a butterfly is resting, it holds its wings upright and together. When it's ready to take off, it rapidly pulls its wings down and apart. This creates suction that pulls the butterfly straight up into the air. The ladybug, like all beetles, has a pair of front wings that are hardened into a protective covering. When the ladybug flies, it swings these hardened wings outward and forward and beats its back wings. The front wings don't flap, but they do provide lift once the ladybug is moving. Bats are the only animals that can fly. The vampire bat feeds at night on the blood of other animals. The bat's wings are supported by 4 very long fingers. These flexible fingers and the thin skin stretched over them allow the bat to twist its wings into almost any shape, making it possible for the bat to change direction quickly and gracefully. Flying squirrels, flying fish, and flying frogs can't really fly. They are gliders. The flying frog uses the skin stretched between its toes to glide from tree to tree. Like other gliders, it doesn't have wings and is unable to create enough lift to overcome gravity, so it is not a true flyer. Most gliders can travel from 50 to 150 feet in the air. The flying fish holds the animal gliding record of 1/4 of a mile, more than 13,000 feet. Flying squirrel, flying lizard, flying gecko, flying fish, flying snake. The largest and smallest flyers. The albatross uses its large wings to soar over the ocean for days at a time. The fairy fly, only 1/125th of an inch long, is the smallest flying insect. The bumblebee bat, the world's tiniest bat, has a wingspan of 6 inches and weighs less than a penny. The bee hummingbird is the smallest bird. Its body is less than 3 inches long, and its wings measure 6 inches across. The largest flying insect is the Queen Alexandra's birdwing butterfly. Excuse me. It measures 12.5 inches from wingtip to wingtip. The Indian flying fox, with wings 6 feet across, is the largest bat in the world. The albatross has a wingspan of up to 12 feet, the largest of any bird. Fastest, farthest, highest, world record flyers. The spine-tailed swift is the fastest bird in level flight, not in a dive. It can reach speeds of 112 miles per hour for short periods. The horsefly can reach speeds of 30 miles per hour or more, making it the fastest insect. The fastest bat, the big brown bat, can fly at 40 miles per hour. The Arctic tern flies a round-trip distance of 200 or 25,000 miles every year as it migrates from the Arctic to the Antarctic and back. The spotted whooper swan holds the record for high altitude flying. It's been seen flying 27,000 feet above sea level. Monarch butterflies migrate from the Great Lakes to Mexico every fall, a distance of over 2,000 miles. Inspired by animals, humans have dreamed of flying for centuries. An early unsuccessful flying machine? Unlike birds, human bodies are not made for flight. A man of average weight, 150 pounds, would need wings about 140 feet across to fly successfully. Even the strongest man would be unable to flap wings so large. This helicopter built in the 1800s didn't work because it is very difficult for a human to generate enough power to lift his body into the air. The first human flights were made using balloons. In 1903, the Wright brothers piloted the first working airplane. It traveled just 120 feet in its initial flight. A modern passenger jet flies at speeds of more than 500 miles per hour. The fastest plane is the SR-71 Blackbird spy plane. It was built by the United States in 1961 and can fly 3 times the speed of sound, over 2,000 miles per hour.